What's up, everybody? I'm Scott.
I'm Jason.
And you're listening to a birthday week Liquid Kernedge.
I survived, dude. I made it 45 years, my friend. I made it 45 years.
45 years. It'll be 46 tomorrow.
Yes. By the time the listeners get to hear this video or this podcast, I'll be 2 days into my 46th year. And by the time they listen to it, I'll actually be on my way to my surprise vacation that Noreen has planned for me. She's been planning now for almost 4 months. And,
oh, really?
It starts on Thursday.
Well, that'll be fantastic.
Oh, yeah. So it's going to be a nice. Took a couple days off. Normally, the last 3 years I've taken my birthday off and just enjoyed the day.
Oh, I didn't realize you were a teenage girl. That's so cool.
Well, shut up, fat. Oh man, come on. But anyways, I decided not to take the day off this time. I decided to go and take a couple days off afterwards since we're doing our vacation, or our little mini vacation. So.
Oh, that's very cool. Well,
yeah.
I hope it's fun. I hope it's relaxing. I hope you enjoy Gila Bend. Oops, that was my mistake. I wasn't supposed to tell you where you're going.
That was our surprise. Shoot.
I wasn't supposed to tell you. It's a very nice truck stop.
Noreen tried to pull the old, well, we're going to Surprise for your surprise trip. I went, no, we're not. No, we're not.
Don't fuck with me, woman.
Exactly.
Oh,
so,
man.
But
if you want to wish Jason a happy birthday, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, all at Liquid Kernedge. We'd love to see some birthday wishes to Jason on those channels. He doesn't get a lot of social media, so I'll just pass it on to him.
I appreciate
if you guys
that.
Give him some birthday love.
I appreciate that, Scotty. I think it's only fair that in response to last week's what some have coined the shit show, I'd like to try to bring it back down to a more normal podcast.
I agree. But on a side note, though, everyone did love recording that show. The messages I got after it was released was like, man, we sounded great. Can we do that again? So everyone's very anxious to do it again. We have to be very structured with it.
Well, and I think the biggest thing that came out of it was when the executive producer, who by the way is at liquid_EP, for those of you who follow him on Twitter, but when the executive producer actually has to stop taking notes and said, you know what, I'm done. The shit show has ruined my chances to do any notes.
Mm-hmm.
It was a rough episode.
Yeah, it was, and I feel bad. I feel like we should have recorded that show this week and this show last week because there is some good news in the world of Star Trek for you and Tom. Jean-Luc Picard is coming back to Star Trek in a new CBS series.
I know, and it's the original Jean-Luc Picard. It's not like some reboot of a Jean-Luc Picard. It is the 97-year-old Sir Patrick Stewart will be coming back too. Yeah, did you know Sir Patrick Stewart is almost 80?
No shit.
Yeah, he is almost 80. He is like 78 or 77, something like that.
Good for him.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm definitely looking forward to it. I think that I was kind of excited after last week to get back to kind of a normal podcast again.
Yeah, I don't mean to be rude to anybody, but I am kind of selfish. I do like our one-on-one conversations. I think people tend to like that too. It is fun to have everybody on every so often, just have it kind of cut loose and have a good time. But
and frankly, I think that if we're going to do that again, it really needs to be in person. I think the person ones, when we do more than 2 other people, would be much better.
Well, maybe we'll do that for the Hans Gruber this Christmas. Except before we won't do it after we start a pub crawl. We'll do it before. And then
I think that's probably the best bet. We should do it before the pub crawl starts. That way, we don't have to cut it midstream and have any issues on recording.
So the Hans Gruber Memorial Pub Crawl coming Christmas of 2018. We'll have more details as the season gets closer.
That sounds good.
But I had some experiences this week that I thought would be fun to discuss today.
All right.
And I wanted to get your pick on it. Boundaries in relationships, whether they be friendships, significant others. Just boundaries and expectations. I thought it'd be something we haven't touched on that would be kind of interesting to feel out. You know what I'm saying?
I do. I think, and I hope that our listeners have some insight that they can put on the social media pages, because this is one that, it's all across the board, and sometimes trying to navigate that is so difficult. It is so difficult.
Oh yeah, and this came up because I had a friend that asked if they could stay with me for a couple of days last week, and when they initially asked, they said it was a day. They were going to come to town. They wanted to stay up, crash at my place, and they could move on to their parents' place the next day. No big deal. When they called to confirm, I said, that's fine, but understand, though, it went from 1 day to now it's 2 days. I said, understand that I go to work at 6 a.m. So you got to be ready to go at 6 a.m. because nobody stays in my house during the day. And
Okay.
this has been a friend of mine for about 12 years, but I haven't seen them in about 7. So, we were never really close.
Okay.
But we if they were in town, we get together. We talk over the internet. We do whatever.
Okay.
But it was never been like one of those like I trust you to stay in my house all day, no questions asked. I'm
It's
not
not.
around.
It's not like JP. It's not like Dean.
Yeah.
It's not like myself. This is someone who is not part of that inner circle of friends.
Exactly, and that's the part that they took true offense to it, and I apologized numerous times. I said this has nothing to do with you. This has nothing to do with this. These are my personal boundaries, and these are what I expect of my house. My dogs are here all day by themselves, and I don't know. I don't know what's been going on. We haven't talked in depth in a long time, and to come and ask to stay for 2 days is really, when I'm not around, is not realistic.
And the thing I find that's kind of interesting about that dilemma too is if they're really coming up to see family, why are they not staying with the family?
And I agree with that too. Like,
that's where it raises a red flag to me that if you were to say, hey, I want to stay over this night just because I'm coming in late and I'll be moving to my parents the next day. Okay, I get that. That sounds cool. It's temporary. But when it says, oh, I'm going to stay there 2 days, well, wait a minute. Are you coming to see family or are you not coming to see family? And why would you do that?
Exactly.
But this person got really offended.
Yeah, they did. And it was, and I tried to explain to him. I said, this has nothing to do with you. And it truly didn't. It's the fact that I have my own boundaries, man. This is my home. This is a place that I've put a lot of time and effort into it. It's my cave, if you will. It's my personal
sanctuary.
Space. It's my sanctuary. My boys are here. I protect them above anything else. And it's no offense, and I'm sure nothing bad would have happened, but I don't want to have to sit there and wonder.
Well, and if you're not that close of friends to the person, who knows? I mean, you're right. Probably nothing will happen, but you wouldn't do that under normal circumstances. And frankly, are they a friend if they got that upset about it? Is that really a friend?
And that's exactly what stance I took on it. It's like, listen, if you're gonna get mad about this, not try to see it from my perspective. I mean, because I can see where you're coming from, but if you don't want to see it from what I'm trying to say, then truly don't understand what I'm trying to actually do and say to protect my own personal boundaries. And I've said boundaries a few times here, and that's a very important thing to me that I don't think some people understand. It's the boundaries in relationships, whether they be friendships, romantic relationships. Sometimes those boundaries take time to expand or contract. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and let's be honest, this situation is even weirder because they're asking you for a favor.
Yeah.
They're asking for you to go out of your way to provide them housing. So they're asking you to do the favor. And then when you say, okay, I'll be willing to do the favor, but I expect this, this, and this, for them to get upset at that is kind of a selfish move on my part. Like that's very selfish.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, that's like, hey, I'm going to be in town for a couple of days, but so I want to just take your truck and use it for the couple of days.
Yeah. Don't mind me. I'll bring it back when I'm done.
Yeah. Actually, I don't feel comfortable with other people driving my car when I'm not there. What, you don't trust me?
Exactly.
Excuse me. No, that's not what it is. That's not what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, as a contrast, I'm going to see my daughter in Maine in a couple weeks in the later part of August. And, while we have a close enough relationship where we can sit cordially and talk and text each other, I've really only seen her in person 2 times. So I rented an Airbnb for the trip.
Yeah.
She even offered, hey, Dad, do you want to stay with me while you're here? And I said, while I would love to stay with you, I got an Airbnb because I just didn't want to put extra pressure on you guys having to, host and cater and do all that stuff for me.
Yeah,
my daughter answered perfectly. Hey, do whatever you need to do. I totally understand. Boom. That was it. It was not oh, you don't love me. Oh, you don't want to see my house. Oh, you don't want to be. It wasn't like that. It was, hey, if that's what you want to do, that's fine. Enough said. And I hope she wasn't offended. I don't think she was. Now, after the trip, if it turns out that everything was fine, she's, and we say in the future, hey, you stay with me anytime, great. But I
Yeah.
didn't want to make that a supposition. I just
No,
didn't want to.
and I agree with that. I think that's a very good assumption that you made, or a very good move that you made in that case, because you guys are realistically still building your relationship.
And how about this? If I get to Maine and I don't spend one day in that Airbnb, like I go to her house and I just, hey, crash here. You've had too much to drink, just crash here and chill out and stuff. If I did that whole in that entire weekend, then it's a small price to pay to just have a peace of mind. And next time I'll make sure not to do that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, I agree completely.
And now, it's oh my gosh, I can't believe you're not going to stay with me. Like, what does that say about us? I guess I might reconsider, but it's a difference. This person's not a close friend of yours. This is my daughter on mine.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, well, I'll stay with you, But yeah, those expectations are kind of creepy. I think I sometimes even in a close relationship that I have with Noreen, I sometimes have to tell her, and I think she tells me sometimes, hey, I know we like spending time together, but you don't always have to spend time with me. If you want to go out with your friends or if you want to go out by yourself and just shop or whatever, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's not a bad thing to have to do that every once in a while. It certainly doesn't turn into, oh, well, what, you don't want to be with me?
And it blows my mind in today's world how fast people want to move when it comes to relationships. I mean, I don't know if you've noticed this or not, but I've seen people move in together with only dating for like a month or two, and it blows my mind.
I've seen people who are married in 3 weeks. I've seen that.
Yeah.
I mean, I've known people who have done that,
and I don't get it. I don't understand. Like what? I understand you're in the honeymoon period, but what in God's green earth makes you think that you know this person well enough after 2 months to move all of your stuff in with theirs, or go get your own places together? Is your financial situation that bad, or is your self-esteem that low to where you're afraid of losing this person, so you're going to do this instead?
Well, or some people, I mean, let's be honest, some people, their expectation is, if I'm dating you because I love you and I want to marry you. You know what I mean? Like, so for them, their expectation is, why would I waste my time dating you if we're not going to be in it for the long haul?
No, I agree.
Some people have that kind of mentality. Noreen and I experienced the other side of the spectrum. You guys have been married together for 8 years and you're not married. What's wrong with you? Why aren't you guys married? Like, why are you guys still just boyfriend, girlfriend? Why aren't you guys married? So I get it on the other way. The expectation is, well, if you've been together with someone for 8 years and you're not married, something must be wrong.
Yeah, or it just works. And I guess that's the difference. Different strokes for different folks, but
how do you balance those expectations? Because,
absolutely.
A lot of people, that's weird. I mean, that would be a weird concept to be, live with someone and be with someone for 8 years and not be married.
And it's funny to me because you look at, like, just even on a platonic friendship level, how long it takes you to figure out those boundaries, what you can and can't say, what you should and shouldn't do around people. It's like, if you look back to, like, when you and I first met many moons ago, we didn't really have. Well, we hit it off pretty well, so our boundaries were pretty loose going forward. I mean, it was pretty much get drunk and just, and make jokes and have a good time.
Yeah.
And, and then I look at, like when I met JP, it was we had to whittle down to just be like him and I to hang out, because it was like a group setting, and then he came over to watch a football game one day, and it was just kind of cool from there. We were able to talk football and whatever else, but it was that slow boundaries, like letting the boundaries loosen of letting someone I don't know that well, like, into our circle and vice versa, into your inner life,
Yeah. Well, and Scott, what do you do in a situation where you're talking to someone and they drop like something really, really, really personal on you that's a little too early in our friendship, or a little too early in our dating life? Like, how do you handle those situations? Because some people are just open with their stuff, man. Like, they don't even have a filter. They'll tell you, the worst things they did from, 19 to their age. And you're like, we just met.
Yeah, and that's funny. It's because you come across those people every so often in my situation. And I really respect the candor and the open-mindedness of being able to speak your mind and not being afraid to tell your truths, that's great. I don't need to tell you my deep and dark secrets, period. You know?
Well, you don't have any, Scott. You're perfect.
Yeah,
Man.
right? Yeah. Aren't we all? But
aren't we all? That's why we're on the podcast.
Exactly.
We're both perfect.
We're both perfect angels. But, I respect it, man. If you want to tell your truth right away, I say good for you. My opinion is you should probably gauge the audience first. Make sure that they're on the same level and they want to hear that truth. Because there's some stuff that you just don't want to hear, that you don't need to hear. Or no matter what, it just doesn't fucking apply to you.
So in the situation that you started the podcast on, do you feel that she or he or whoever this person was justified in their response back to you?
You know what? If it was okay in their mind, I wasn't going to argue with them over it, to be honest with you. If that's what she wanted to do, it's fine with me. I didn't argue with her. It was, hey man, if that's how you feel, I'm sorry. I offered you a place, and you didn't like the parameters. Like, I'm not going to argue with it. You're taking away your truth out of this.
Now the weird thing is this person has probably gone to one of their friends and told them the same situation, and their friend is saying, "Oh my gosh, I couldn't believe that he would do that to you. What a jerk. I mean, I wouldn't even talk to him anymore."
Yeah, and that's fine. And I'm, the thing is, like, when it was over, like, I was okay with it. It's like, listen, if this is how it's gonna be, like, we don't see or talk to each other very much, and then you get mad because I have this boundary, then I'm not upset that you got upset. Go do your thing, and enjoy your family if while you're here, and don't worry about me because I'll be just fine.
Hey, well, we've talked about this a few times, that in every relationship, there's going to be 98% of something that you really like about someone, and then 2% that you're not going to like at all.
Mm-hmm.
And the real question is that 2% the deal breaker or not?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, so this person could be the greatest friend in the history of the world, but this 2% that how they responded to you is enough to say, you know what? No, I'm done. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
And
I was bummed that they took it as a personal attack, and I tried to stress her, like, this has nothing to do with you. This is about, like, my journey and my personal experiences, and, like, in my house, my things, my dogs, the things that mean everything to me. It's nothing about you. This is about me protecting my stuff for now.
This person would have even been better just to say, oh, that's no problem, Scott. I can make sure I'm out when you leave. That's not a problem. Or, Scott, I just can't accommodate that. So thanks for the offering it to me, but I think I'll find something else. They could have responded that way, and it would have been totally fine and not even like an issue.
Yeah, and even if it was like, well, I really can't leave till 8:30, 9 o'clock. Yeah, I would have hung around the house. I'd have gone into work late. No big deal. But it was the idea of, I'm just going to stick around your house all day while you're gone. It's like, no. That's me, just weird.
And that is very strange. That's very strange.
And that's the part that got me. It's like, if you wanted to get up and head out after that point, I wouldn't have cared. Like, all right, just lock the door when you're done. But it wasn't. It was, I'm going to lounge around the house all day and take my time, and then, it's like no, I'm good.
Well, and the part of any relationship, friendship, or anything more is you've got to set those boundaries early.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the people that there's always, like, you've heard about people who said, look, I have to have my me time. So when I have to have my me time, I'm telling you, you just need to let me go.
Yeah.
You set that boundary. So if they have a problem with it, they can address it right there. If they don't have a problem with it, then you're covered. But everyone's boundaries is different.
Oh, I agree. And that's kind of the part that I go back to. It's, had we had a little bit deeper relationship where we've seen each other, talk to each other more throughout the years, things might have been different. But it's the fact that we talk every few months for a few minutes here and there, and then it's probably been about 7 years since I've seen her. So it's, I'm a whole different person since I was at 30 years old versus 37. I'm in a whole different life, and I'd have to
Well,
assume they are too.
well, I got to think too that if the request came from, I'm just throwing this out there. Maybe the response is the same, but if Noreen and I came up to town and say, "Hey, Scott, we are doing something up here and we need to be able to stay someplace for a couple days. Would you be okay if we stayed with you?" That response, based on a relationship that we've established over years, is going to be different than someone that you see once every
Oh yeah,
5 years. I mean, come on, give me a
yeah.
break.
I'm pretty sure you have a key to my house, so it's like, yeah, just
Well,
lock up when you're done.
yeah, or you might say, hey, guys, how about this? The difference is that if you would have said that to us, we would have either said, hey, you know what, Scott, we appreciate that. We'll find something else, or, oh, that's fine. That's not a problem because we've got things to do. And that would have been fine. You know what I mean? Like that part, that's the difference is, we have an established relationship that makes those kind of quirky, like, statements that you would make acceptable.
Oh yeah. And you hit it right on the head right there when you say quirky. It's like, I'm the first one to admit, I have my own weird quirks, and I don't think it's that big of a quirk though when it's your own sanctuary. We all protect the things that are closest to us, and everything in my house is something that's very dear to me, and it's got nothing to do with anybody else but my own. Like, I like my space, I like my surroundings, and a lot of it, to be honest, comes down to my dogs, man. Like, I don't want someone who's not, I don't want to say a total stranger, but not used to my dogs, never met them, never seen them, for them to spend time with them or do whatever else, unless I'm there.
Hey, yeah. Here's quirk. So we had a friend come and stay with us for a weekend, and we were going to be leaving on a trip the Sunday, and so they were going to stay Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with us. Friday and Saturday with us, and then Sunday they were going to stay, and we were going to go on this trip. And our friends had 2 kids, and it was quirky because what we did was the first 2 nights, we slept. The couple slept in the guest bedroom, and then the kids slept on the couch. Well, obviously, if we're not here, we have an extra bed. It's available. We actually were quirky enough to say that we'd rather, if anyone was going to be sleeping on our bed, it was the kids and not the couple.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Now, why we put that rule out there, I'm not quite sure, because what should it really matter? But I think it was just the principle of we don't want another couple sleeping in our bed.
I think any adult can read between them, listen, because if someone could play a road game, with their partner in someone else's bed, why not?
But the great thing was the response from the couple was exactly what we'd expect. Oh, of course, not even an issue. I couldn't imagine if they said, "Oh, well, we're not staying if we can't trust you. If you don't trust us to sleep in your bed." And it's like, it's not even a question of the road thing at all. It's more of that's like our
space,
sanctuary. It's our sanctuary.
It's our space. Speaking of which, next time you guys come up to visit, if you want, I do have a new king size bed in my front room. So you guys are more than welcome to crash here if you want, because I do have air conditioning unlike your last stay.
And frankly, the last time that we came up, one of the reasons that we decided to stay with JP was every time we talked to him, he is always selling us on, you can stay with me, you can stay with me, you can stay with me. So it's like you can tell that that's a big thing for him. He wants to, be the host, and I got to admit, he keeps a pretty good house.
Dude, he has a nice spread. He has a nice place. I'm right there with you, man. I use his pool all the time. It's like my little resort. I have to give him major credit. So
and this is the thing about JP. So this is a quirk about JP that I never realized until he bought his own house. He is a neat freak.
Yeah.
Like, he is one of these guys that has everything is orderly. Like, his house has got to be clean. Everything's got to, his backyard, he makes sure there's no weeds. He keeps the rocks in line so they're not on the patio. I never realized that about him, but that quirk, I think that's one of those things that you don't really know a person and their quirks if you're not seeing them at least regularly.
Yeah.
And that's why I think this friend of yours probably, assumed based on nothing more than, oh, well, why would it be a problem?
Exactly.
Not even considering that there might have been 100 reasons why this was a problem or wasn't a problem or whatever. So I'm with you, man.
I,
And I mean, it's tough enough managing relationships anyways.
right?
Hey, you're going to get pissed at my quirk, then get the heck out of here,
Oh, I agree completely. It's it's each their own. Everyone's wired differently, and the older you get, I want to say the more set in your ways you get, and that can be a bad thing sometimes. Because I will admit, I'll be the first one. I know I'm stubborn. I know I have to get out my own way sometimes, but the things I stand up for, when it comes to like my personal space and myself, it's because that's for a reason. So, and if you can't respect the fact that I have a reason or don't want to know the reason, you're just gonna get mad on it. That's not my fucking problem.
My mom said something to me, and sometimes every once in a while she drops a little kernel of something that keeps it stuck in my mind, and I keep remembering it. My mom has got one of these quirky. She's got a quirky personality too, where sometimes she can drive me absolutely nuts. Like she drives me absolutely nuts, and she can drive other people nuts too. And I said, Mom, doesn't it bother you that that sometimes you drive people crazy? And she goes, Jason, for the longest time, I used to try to cater myself and protect what I would say and not say it in front of people. And then I realized, they don't mind me catering to their personality, and I do it so they can cater to mine.
That's true.
And I went, yeah, that's true. You don't like the fact that I don't want you in my house after I'm gone? Deal with it.
That's very true.
Deal with it. Get it out of your system. And if you don't want to be my friend anymore because of it, hey, then you don't want to be my friend anymore. And it's true. Like deal with the quirkiness. That's what we all have them. We all have bugaboos. Deal with it.
That's exactly it. And my biggest bugaboo is, and I'll tell you now,
I'm ready.
Going to the lake or using the mountains for hiking and not having my Crespos with me now, so I could potentially lose my glasses on the trail or in the water.
And frankly, we've seen what you do when you get quirky and you lose your glasses in the lake. You force a 9-year-old to go swimming for it.
Exactly, and she found them.
And that's quirky, man. That's quirky.
That's child labor right there.
So how do you get through this quirkiness, Scott?
I went to CresposOfficial.com, CRESPOSOFFICIAL.com. I think I spelled official right. And I ordered.
Did you spell .com right? That's really the question.
.com. Yes. I went to CresposOfficial.com and I ordered my pair of Crespos, and they're amazing, man. They're stylish because a lot of those croakies aren't. They're stylish. They're comfortable. My glasses go right into them, and they're only $10. And if you use the promo code Liquid Kernedge between now and the end of the summer, you can get 20% off your order.
That's an amazing savings, and it's a great product. So I encourage everyone who listens, if you're listening for the first time, if you listen for 100 times and still haven't bought one, do yourself a favor, go to CresposOfficial.com and go buy them.
That's it.
I want to end with one thing. I'm going to be quirky, but you know what? Deal with it.
All right.
So my mother is, when you're 46, you've been around for 46 years, it gets kind of hard for people to buy gifts for you.
Did you get socks and underwear?
No, I didn't. But what my mother did do, and it was one of the most unique, thoughtful gifts that I've ever been given, is, as you well know, and as the people who know me know, I'm a big Penguins fan. I love Penguins.
The animals, not the hockey team.
No, screw the hockey team. No, the Penguins. In fact, for Father's Day, Noreen took me to the aquarium down here and gave me an experience with the Penguins. Very nice.
In fact, that was the first time I ever knew you had an obsession with penguins.
Yeah, so I love penguins. My mother, for my birthday, gave a donation to sponsor with the World Animal Federation of the WWF, the
World Wildlife
Federation. She sponsored an emperor penguin in my name.
Oh, that's cool.
So I get a little certificate in my name, and they showed me a little picture of my emperor penguin that she's helped, that she donated on my behalf.
So do you have to pay for like penguin food, or is this penguin's name Jason Edgeworth?
No, I think it's like the things with the dogs where, you give 19 cents a day for the price of a cup of coffee. You can save a dog or whatever. I think that it's the same kind of deal, that you make a donation to the WWF, and they probably put money towards some fund that takes care of these animals, or, does excursions or something. But I have an emperor penguin that has been donated to be safe, because of my mother for my birthday. And I thought, for those of you who are trying to think of something unique or kind of cool, think about that. Donate to an organization that supports wildlife in some way and make a donation in someone's name.
I think it's a wonderful idea. I know I won't see you for your birthday tomorrow, buddy, but happy birthday.
Thank you,
46 years, and I feel privileged to be a part of your life for almost, I'm going to say a quarter of it now, because we're going to, 12 years?
Yeah, I think we're going on 12 years that we've known each other. Yeah.
So that's a huge chunk out of our lives. Almost a third of mine, almost a quarter of mine,
I know.
and almost a quarter of yours. So, man, I am privileged to be doing this with you still. And happy birthday, my friend.
Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it. I thought that was a great episode. I'm glad we got a little bit back on track. I hope that our listeners enjoy this episode. I know I did.
Not to say they didn't enjoy last week either, but they all knew it was a train wreck, and they kind of loved the fact it was a train wreck.
Yeah, the only thing that was missing last week was the alcohol. So, anyways.
Yeah. So we just proved that we can do it sober as well as we can drunk.
There we go. I love it.
Jason, take us home.
Once again, thanks everyone for listening. We really enjoyed the talk. Thanks for all the birthday wishes. I look forward to hearing them from Scott when you send them through Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Scott will get them to me, I promise. That was Scott. My name is Jason. And as always, if you never know quite what to say, just have yourself some Liquid Kernedge.